Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cadet Student Network's broadcast of the 49th playing of the annual CBC Soccer Tournament. We are getting ready for the second game of the evening. We did encounter a brief delay. There was about a 30-minute lightning delay during the first game, so that is why we are coming on air a little bit late. We do apologize for that, but we've got plenty of entertainment ahead of us as CBC will take on DESMET. Now, the first game this evening was St. Louis University High School versus St. John Vianney High School. That game ended in a 0-0 tie. CBC lost to SLU yesterday, 3-2. DESMET beat, on Tuesday. DESMET beat Vianney on Tuesday by a score of 3-1. That makes the point total SLU 8, DESMET 6, Vianney 3, CBC 2. What will it be in the end of this one? Join us as we find out. We're going to throw to public address for prayer, national anthem, and the starting lineups. You are watching the Cadet Student Network.
We will have our opening prayer, our national anthem, and our starting lineups.
And right as we throw it to him, he gives us a little bit of time. But we will go ahead and just tell you a little bit about the way this tournament works. As I mentioned, SLU has the lead with 8 points. DESMET is behind them with 6. Vianney with 3, CBC 2. How do we get those numbers? If you're new to the tournament, a win is 3 points, and an interruption by PA is an automatic throw to the public address speaker, Scott Brown.
Let's remember that we are in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for being with us tonight. Please protect all participants from injury and allow us to exhibit good sportsmanship and respect throughout the game. We give you thanks for the talents of these young men, and we pray that they carry the bonds of brotherhood formed on the field of play with them for the rest of their lives. Continue to send your blessings to both our communities and guide our efforts as we develop young men who are guided by faith, strengthened by intellect, committed to justice, and prepared to lead and serve. For this we pray, amen. St. Ignatius Loyola, pray for us. St. John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Now, let's read our starting lines first for the visiting DESMET Jesuit Spartans. They come in with a total of 6 points. They are 6-time tournament champions and 2-time defending champs. Starting in goal, a senior number 00, Dominic Reinecke. A senior number 4, Owen Tien. A senior number 5, Zach Costello. A senior number 6, Evan Wabuler. A senior number 7, Nolan Mark. A senior number 8, KJ Kayemba. A senior number 10, Gavin Weber. A junior number 17, Jack Doherty. A junior number 18, Keegan Hunnedy. A sophomore number 26, Caden Fleming. And a sophomore number 27, Alex Cosney. The Spartans are coached by Mr. Josh Klein. He is assisted by Ben Yeager and Ryan Hodge. tonight's starting line for your CBC Cadets. They are 21-time tournament champion and 10-time state champion. Starting in goal, left junior, number 1, Stone Doug Reed. Senior captain, number 2, Adam Nicoletti. Senior number 3, Kiefer Cole. Senior number 4, Chase Gardner. Senior captain, number 5, Parker Jetton. Senior captain, number 6, Ethan Norcadis. Junior number 9, Connor Camp. Senior number 10, Stevie Jones. Junior number 12, Will Charmatero. Junior number 14, Frankie Eilerman. And senior number 17, Evan Mueller. The cadets are coached by Mr. Randy Roy. He is assisted by John Theobald, Mark Zimmerman, Liam Jacober, and Joey Wilson.
There you have the starting lineups as we come back in the booth. These two teams enter. Cadets 3-3 on the season. DeSmet just 3-1. As they take the field, it will be CBC wearing all black uniforms, maybe some dark purple socks. They are going to be going right to left across the screen, actually left to right as they switch, and DeSmet will be wearing the all white. If you did miss the starters for CBC, it's number 1, Stone DeGrief in goal. In front of him, number 2, Adam Nicoletti, 3, Kiefer Cole, 4, Chase Gardner, 5, Parker Jetton, 6, Ethan Norcaitis, 9, Connor Camps, 10, Stevie Jones, 12, Will Charmatero, 14, Frankie Eilerman, and 17, Evan Miller. For DeSmet in goal, Dominic Reinecke, number 00. In front of him, number 4, Owen Tien. Number 5, Zach Costello. 6, Evan Waymuller. 7, Nolan Mark. 8, KJ Tyemba. 10, Gavin Weber. 17, Jack Doherty. And 18, Keegan Hunnedy. The Cadets looking to bounce back after a frustrating game against the Junior Bills. If you were joining us tonight, you might have joined us on Tuesday, and you saw that 3-2 win as SLU got off to an early lead. CBC responded. Another goal right at the start of the 8 minutes into the second half from SLU. Just 11 minutes later, CBC responded, but it was that third goal they couldn't answer. Can the Cadets bounce back tonight? My name is Tom Eichwald. Joining me is Randy Gardner. Randy, you pumped for this one?
Certainly am. You can't beat MCC soccer any time of the year, but when it's part of the CBC soccer tournament, it just makes it that much better. Right here early in the season, 6-7 games into the year, both of these teams trying to kind of figure out where they stand, and this is a great test. They're playing a half hour later than scheduled. Makes it even better outside on a 95-degree day. Right now in the low 90s maybe, but the attitudes are up. These kids are ready to play.
It's a pretty comfortable temperature down there on the field and up in the concourse.
But not in the Tim Kylo press box.
It's a little steamy in the Tim Kylo press box, but we are glad to bring you this game. Again, DeSmet is in the all-white uniforms. They're on the right side of your screen. CBC wearing the all-black with purple trim, purple socks. They are on the left side. The referee checks both keepers. Whistle goes, music stops, and the action starts. First action is going to be a diagonal ball in for DeSmet to chase, and that'll be out for a CBC throw. DeSmet won in pretty grand fashion on Tuesday. They were trailing 1-0 in the second half to Vianney. 65th minute free kick from Zach Costello. It was outstanding. It was about 27 yards outside the box. It was just a bomb. Went in, made it 1-1, and then unanswered goals from Zach Costello and Weber, that is Gavin Weber, made it a score of 3-1. So comeback, bench was pretty fired up after that one, so you get the feeling they're coming into this one with a little bit of momentum. CBC, on the other hand, it was a frustrating night. They did not play their best. They got pinned in quite a bit. We were talking to Coach Roy before the game, talked about how much time they spent defending, facing their own goal, which is, of course, something you want to avoid at all costs. So looking to see how they bounce back. I think it's been a little bit of a befuddling start to the season for the Cadets, Randy. Just some good signs, but just haven't quite put a ton of the performances together, and you're still at 500.
Yeah, we talked to Randy Roy before the game. He was up in the press box with us, and we talked a little bit about things that are going right, things that are going wrong for this team right now. You know, it's early in the year. They're trying to get things figured out. One thing he talked about was positional play, keeping that ball in front of them at all times, and tonight will be a true test of that.
We're seeing the back four remain unchanged from the last game. At the start of the season, it was Gardner and Jetton at the center back pairing, what Coach Roy has done the last couple games. Adam Nicoletti stays at left back, Kiefer Cole at right, but that center back pairing of Gardner and Miller instead, with Jetton playing as that defensive midfielder in front of the back four. There's Miller looking for Stevie Jones on this right wing. Midfield trio, a center midfield trio of Jetton, Norkaitis, and Lucas Sharamatero. No, it was Will. Gut was right. Number 12, Will Sharamatero. Left wing, or right wing, Stevie Jones. Left wing is Adam Nicoletti. Left back is Frankie Eilerman. So he's getting the start at left back. Misspoke earlier, but Nicoletti is starting at left wing and Frankie Eilerman at left back. So just get that on the record. DeSmet stymied down the left. They'll try it down the right. These two teams have seen each other so many times. Last time they met over on that field at Chaminade, it was the district championship game. DeSmet got the better of the Cadets that night. You know, these CBC Cadets would love to get one back. Good ball played in for Sharamatero. This is Will. Left, right foot, goal! Sharamatero assisted by Jetton in the 3rd minute.
And that's one thing we've seen in the previous matches where CBC has let up that early goal, and they're playing from behind from 3, 4, 5 minutes into the game. What a difference I think that will make with this team just in the flow of how they will play. And we always talk about that first 5 minutes after you score or whether you get scored on. Now we'll see with a lead early in the game how this team responds. But you couldn't have drawn it up any better.
No, you couldn't have. And it was a good ball into the right foot of Will Sharamatero and just a tidy finish. You could see it right off the inside of the post. I thought it might have actually stayed out, but that's how cornered it was.
It was a nice job by Parker Jetton to step up into that space and intercept that ball and take his space that he had.
And showing you the versatility. He is playing kind of as that defensive midfielder, but knowing when he can step up, when he has that space. He had cover in behind him. The midfield worked exactly as it was supposed to there.
Yeah, we always talk about, and we've talked about this for years on the broadcast, is the importance of winning that midfield battle, both offensively and defensively throughout a game. That position and that the way that ball is handled in there makes all the difference within a game.
A left-footed cross just evaded the head of Jack Doherty, and even though it didn't hit him, it looked awfully close to Stone DeGrief's right-hand post from up here. Sometimes looks a little closer than it was, but when you see the shadow of the ball at ball height going across the post, you know it wasn't far off.
Good opportunity for the Cadets to maybe catch DeSmet on a, once you go down, you feel you have to push a little bit to try to get things back, and that counterattack within that first 5 minutes can happen so quickly.
You are going to see the brick of the press box come into the shot right there on your left. You're going to see it on your right in the other corner as well. Randy's doing a nice job of multitasking tonight, shooting from inside the press box. So we won't have access to those corners. We'll do our best to relay the action. If it's any consolation, we can't see them either. So we're in this together, folks.
Yeah, we usually shoot from up top, but several of our students have been on retreat through the week and needed the opportunity to be at home, do some homework, do some other things. So don't mind the multitasking.
Free kick for DeSmet. It'll be taken short. Stepping up is Nolan Mark. And that's played out by CBC. It'll be a DeSmet throw.
And we're seeing something different within the first 5 minutes here that I haven't seen in all of the previous games, is that first 10 balls, we're first to the ball every time. What a difference that makes, even here as a statement in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, just fighting through that kind of start of the game torpor that we've seen CBC in a little bit, but they got out sharp, get that goal. You want to hold them here. Don't give one right back. This is a free kick in a great area for DeSmet. In-swinger is cleared initially, and again CBC first to the ball with Camps. Cleared on, and that's going to be a foul against Connor. It's a little too much pressure over the back. So a free kick for DeSmet.
And it's in a spot that's not going to hurt you. I like the effort. Let the guy know you're there. Simple mistakes and counters on the front foot.
And even if Camps wins that ball, he's not really going to be able to do a whole lot with it. So not a bad thing to be able to slow down play there. Ball played down the right.
And again, just the effort by Stevie Jones. He hears the footsteps coming and just plays it out of bounds.
Yeah, that was
those simple things in the game that make a difference.
It was Caden Fleming closing down, doing a nice job. Fleming again. Jetton heads on. He's got Shermatero and Camps ahead of him. You could see what Will was thinking there. Let that ball fall right on his right foot and drill it, but never got the chance. Here comes DeSmet on the counter. As mentioned, just the 4th game of the season for DeSmet. Haven't played a whole lot. Correction, 6-1. Looking at the wrong column, so 6-1. They have beaten O'Fallon, Hickman, Puritan, Notre Dame, Timberland, Vianney, and now looking to take it to CBC. This is out for a Vianney, or for a DeSmet throw-in. That's what happens when you do the CBC tournament. You spend so much time talking about all 4 of these teams, you start calling them the wrong one, Randy.
And shooting from the press box, we got a nice shot of your hands.
There it is.
And the brick wall.
We are not disembodied voices up here. The press box is a real place, occupied by real people. 32-34 remaining on the game clock as Stone to Grief tees this one up.
Yeah, double dip for CBC DeSmet. Soccer tonight, football tomorrow night. A big game for both teams here, 6 o'clock. You can see it right here on CSN. You can also see that game on Matrix Midwest. Proud partnership we have with them this year. The place will be jam-packed tomorrow night, Tom.
That is for sure.
Nothing like CBC soccer against DeSmet and CBC football against DeSmet.
Stevie Jones on the right. It was a good idea. You could see it, and he actually had a decent connection on it, but I think just leaning back a little bit, hard to shape yourself around that one.
And we've talked about Stevie the last couple of games with his speed and agility to be able to turn the ball both to the left and to the right. You saw it there, the first 3 quick steps that he has.
Goal kick taken. CBC ends up with the ball in the midfield. This is Norkitis. Ethan had himself a goal, and a good one on Tuesday. It was he who clawed back the 2-1 lead in 57th minute. Will Shermatero played it into space, and he just rifled one. I have to say, at that moment, nothing was going right for CBC, just kind of a moment out of the blue. So, a player wants to step up and take the game to him. That's Shermatero again. Will Shermatero with a shot that took an awkward skip in front of Reineke, and it's 2-0.
That's what happens when you shoot, Tom. We talk about it all the time. I think that ball caught keeper a little bit by surprise, coming through a maze of players from quite a distance. Found the corner of the net. Sometimes that's what you just have to do. Let it fly. Make the keeper make a save.
Yeah, and just one of those awkward ones that kind of skipped on Reineke there. I'm sure he'll want that one back, and it was a good shot down in the corner. Same corner that Shermatero found before, but I'm not sure if he didn't have a good line of sight on it or just wasn't expecting it. But
yeah, and really good movement, the ball movement by CBC early here. My point of view, the best 10 minutes of soccer that we've seen all season long.
Certainly the sharpest and quickest I've seen.
Yeah.
And the quickness continues. This is Camps. Jetton.
CBC goal scored by number 12, his second of the game, Will Shermatero. Shermatero for the Cadets in the 9th minute.
I had the assist from Norkitis as well. Didn't make the PA, but willing to say I believe that was Ethan who teed him up. Just under 10 minutes gone. You are watching the Cadet Student Network. We were a little late on the air due to a brief weather delay. Some lightning in the area, so of course you have to wait for safety. And during the first game, that was SLU versus Vianney, ended in a 0-0 tie. Now Stevie Jones in the corner. You can see the idea there. It was really well read by Evan Waymuller, who then commits a foul against his numerical counterpart, Ethan Norkitis. That was a good bit of defending, followed by a moment that probably won't make his college highlight reel. And he is going to get a yellow card for that one. So helpful of the student section to let him know that he's committed an infraction. Leads to a right-footed opportunity for Norkitis. Takes it short. This is Shermatero. You know he's feeling it. Plays it in for Jetton, then made the run. Jetton looking to return the favor. That's out. That'll be another throw. 29:48 on the game clock. That should have restarted, however.
Yeah, I'm going to let our game clock catch up a little bit, too.
Here comes DeSmet. Down the right. Good sliding tackle from the left winger. You know, and that's the best thing. If you're a keeper on the bench, best thing that can happen is that ball right at you. Without even getting up off the bench, you just catch it calmly, two hands.
Do you put it on the sheet as a save?
You know, I don't think you technically can, but, you know, not everything on the sheet, not everything that matters is on the sheet, Randy.
Could be on the highlight reel.
But nice catch by Jack Voland over there, who I thought did a nice job for the most part on Tuesday. There was one that was maybe a miscommunication that he might want back, but for the most part, had some big moments as well. Kind of kept CBC in the game for stretches as they were up against it. We've seen Stone and Jack switching off games, so that's why he's not playing tonight.
You can see in the corner of the clock on our TV clock is stopped right now. We're letting the game clock catch up with the TV clock. The one-man shooting, directing crew. Some things slip through the cracks, like stopping the clock during goals.
Folks at home might be wondering why I'm not helping him with any of that, and that's a fair question. That is out for a corner kick.
28:20 on the clock right now.
Cross in. Stevie Jones, that's off his head, and that is going to be out for a DeSmet throw deep in their own half. And we'll get our first substitution. It's a change that the Spartans are making. Glad to have you with us. We know we got CBC fans watching, but also DeSmet fans. Welcome all of our Spartan viewers to this game. We know we are not the only school that looks forward to this tournament every year. 49 years in a row now this tournament has happened and has been such a great showcase in this area. So many players over the years, you know, and now even coaches. You got two coaches in this game who are alums of their school, played in this tournament. They've got assistants who played in this tournament. It is just such a cool tradition and at a great part of the year. You get a couple of weeks to kind of tune up for it. You see what you got. You test some tough opposition, 3 very tough games in a row usually. And then you kind of enter into the second half of the season, learning more about your team. So it's a good tournament, good timing, and makes for great viewing.
Yeah, it's something that kids really talk about. They look forward to it. They see that first part of the season coming out of training camp where it's hot and it's miserable. They just want to play against somebody else. So you get some games under your belt, and then you jump into this 3-game stretch where you play 3 MCC schools that are always top-notch programs.
You know, one of the things that you know, the Coach Mickler always taught was that so important for you know, a team. If you want to be a team that's going to challenge for, as Gardner escorts that out, challenge for, even win state, you know, the importance of winning at least one tournament during the regular season. You know, if you look at the scores, you might just see all these games, but there are tournaments in the season. This is one of them. There's been over the years the CYC tournament, the Furley Shootout, now the Champions League. There's so many different competitions, but just that feeling of being in those sorts of meaningful games, because other than seeding, the regular season doesn't really affect. You know, every team gets into the playoffs, district playoffs. That's the way high school sports work. But the kind of jitters you get, speaking of jitters, nervy moment here for CBC. Cole backtracking, has to clear. Norkitis now. He's going to let this one fly with the right. Danger not quite gone. Jetton, his turn to try to clear, and he does. But just the jitters of playing in those, whether it's an elimination game, depending on how the tournament works, or just a game where you could potentially have a trophy in it, is such an important part of what's built this program. Good step by Eilerman. First step just a little bit heavy. Camps bails him out, though, and now Frankie Eilerman again. He's got Nicoletti making an inside run. Still Eilerman keeps it in. That's out, and it will be a CBC throw.
The team just looks so much sharper
They do.
tonight in every aspect, whether it's getting to the 50-50 balls. The touch is much better, the first touch, finding somebody's feet, moving the ball. Just first 15 minutes here is kind of what you perfectly drew up would happen.
Nicoletti's shot is comfortable save for Reineke. I was actually kind of thinking it might be the opposite tonight. CBC kind of developing a track record of starting slow, coming off a disappointing loss to SLU. DeSmet, on the other hand, coming off of a come-from-behind win. I thought they might come out a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper, but it's been CBC who's been buzzing around the field just a little bit quicker.
I think in the back of the minds of the guys who were on varsity last year, I think that game that they played that knocked them out, that still stings. So when they had this game on the schedule and they see it and they know they're playing in this tournament at night, it's a game they want to get back.
Well, and just a crushing night that was. I thought CBC gave DeSmet. DeSmet came in the much stronger team on paper, and CBC just gave them the game that you would expect from a rival, and it just got away from us right at the end there. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 1 minute 13 seconds left. So there's definitely a desire to get back at the Spartans here. This is Stevie. Got some help. This is Will. That's an uncomfortable one for Parker Jetton as DeSmet comes away with it. Good ball played in by Ben Harper. So far, CBC's defense doing a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him, like we talked about. Opportunity right-footed shot blocked by Miller. That was Gavin Weber on the turn. One you definitely have to watch out for. It's 5 goals already on the season. And get this, 19 shots. I think he might like to hit it.
Very productive player. One thing we talked about Randy about as we talked with him before the game here is that jitters and coming into a game like this. And one thing he stresses is that, gentlemen, go out and enjoy the game. When you enjoy what you're doing and you're playing without that stress of I'm going to make a mistake or what if this happens, the game just becomes so much easier for you. So you go out there, and for a lot of these players, high school is the end of the road for them. So you look on paper, you might have 10, 12 games left, maybe in your career. So go out there and play every game like it's your last game and enjoy yourself. And I think that translates into good, solid play.
Camps backtracking. Connor's got a few games left in him, just a junior. But so many seniors on this team. As Jones turns inside. Left-footed shot. It's a good one. Reineke gets across with a save.
A nice shot there by Stevie with his non-dominant foot.
It was. Good handling from Reineke as well.
He had a chance to really see that ball. There's nobody in front of him. A little bit of a big wind-up. Took a little while for that ball to get there. So,
yeah, that's one you expect, a save you expect to make, but still, you got to make it. And he did. Stone down there to gather it. 21:34 remaining. Clock you're seeing in the top left of your screen is accurate. Randy did a nice job of catching back up. Good interception from Owen Tien. And a ball well won. This is Weber. Tayimba over there at right back. Plays it up to the right wing and now in. This is onside. DeSmet has the end line. And cover and a late challenge from Parker Jetton. He's going to bring on substitutes. We'll call them out as we see them. Looks like Camps is going to get a break up top. Will Matero is going to get a break. Just caught a bib thrown at him by his twin brother, Lucas.
You know, Tom, we talk about the coaching staff talking to the boys about enjoying themselves. It's nice to see the guys before the games, you know, hanging out together. Seems like they really enjoy being part of this team and hanging out with each other. And I think that's such an integral aspect of any team, especially at this high school level where you've got kids who are sophomores, juniors, and seniors, but all coming together for, you know, one.
There's a potential giveaway here. Stone had to come out. He did. Loses the ball, and Evan Miller saves it. That was Jack Doherty for DeSmet. Had a wide open goal. Evan Miller bails out his keeper.
Not sure if he just didn't see him on that back pass or.
Well, he ended up in an awkward position. I don't know if he did. It was a substitute right back came on. I'm trying to see. It was that. Is it Lucas Themey, 22? And there's the corner in. Headed straight up in the air. Stone's come a long way for that. Gets a punch to it. Tyemba can't settle it in time to get the shot away.
That's one of those balls now that you just have to shake that off. You came into the game. You know, you got bailed out. Just get your feet back underneath you. And short memory.
Yeah, I think you just come onto the game, maybe not quite adjusting to the speed of it yet. Those are the kinds of mistakes you can see.
And I think you hear that from every varsity player once they start playing varsity soccer, is the speed of the game is so much different every time you step on the field. There really is no break at any time.
Good give and go between Lucas Shermatero and Adam Nicoletti there. But equal to the task was Ben Harper. 18:31 remaining in this half. Challenged by Gardner, and that'll be a throw-in for DeSmet. I think it'll be a throw rather than a foul. I didn't see the flag waving, although the referee is going to go over and just check in with his linesman to make sure. If you have watched CSN before, you've heard us talk about State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo. He's the best insurance guy in town, and he is also our presenting sponsor. We're incredibly grateful for his support. He helps us make these broadcasts possible. He wants to help you save money on your insurance. Give him a call, 314-842-4442, or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. DeSmet free kick hit with 17:50 to go. Stone to Grief tried to catch it, ended up losing it, but pounces on it very quickly.
Great job by Stone. Tom, you're a keeper. Once you got to go out there and you got to get that ball. And when it bounces around like that, a great first step to get himself back on top of it.
I remember being told once that if you come out, make sure you get the ball, because after all, you're not coming out to buy a paper. There's only one reason you come out as a goalkeeper, and it's the ball. Good turn from Weber. Slide tackle from Kiefer Cole. And that is a foul. That's going to be a penalty kick. Penalty kick in the 23rd minute. Have to say, pretty clear on that one. Kiefer came in for the tackle, missed him on the first one, and then got up, and I think was maybe a little bit frazzled getting up from the tackle and just stuck a leg out. That is a clear-cut penalty. And we'll see who DeSmet sends up to take it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you get back up and you know you might be beat and you're just unaware of where you're at. And
so penalty kick for DeSmet. Player over it, I believe this is Weber, number 10. He's going to hit it with his left. Takes a deep breath. Stone's on his line. There's the kick. Goal. So Weber converts, makes it 2-1. So goals from Will Shermatero, and Gavin Weber have us at 2-1. Cadets get off to a quick lead, 3rd minute goal, 9th minute goal, and then in the 23rd minute, a penalty kick goal converted by Gavin Weber. Did a nice job sending Stone to Stone's right-hand side and just opened the hips at the last minute and buried it.
You see so many, if you watch MLS soccer now and Premier League soccer, you see so many keepers making saves on penalty kicks. I don't know if it's because of the availability of more video and analysis and studying of where players put the ball. It seems like you watch a penalty kick shootout and they're saving 3 of the 5 goals, which it seemed like it never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, you have to attribute some of that to film, and you're able to break down and slow things down and identify tendencies, not just where guys like to go, but what those little tells are. And keepers will have one thing they look at generally. Sometimes it's a guess in a film, or based on film. Sometimes you see the notes in the socks. Sometimes you see the teammates pointing.
But you're a keeper. It comes down to luck in some cases, and it also comes down to reading hips and reading the eyes.
Reading the hips, reading the eyes, reading the plant foot.
All in a millisecond.
Yes. And the big thing is, like with shooting it, just be decisive. You can kind of paralyze yourself if you think about it too much and end up either getting a late dive or not really getting off your feet at all.
You almost have to
frozen.
Just go out and just, like with a shooter, I always tell, hey, put the ball down. Don't change your mind and just hit it.
I think it's fascinating because that was always the advice, right? Be decisive, know what you're doing before you get up there. Opportunity here. This is Lucas Sharamatero. He's got Dang in the middle. He's got Stevie Jones far side. This is Dang. Couldn't get it away in time, and that's going to be a corner kick. Now you're seeing shooters wait for the keeper to move and react. Running up to it, slow run up with the eyes up.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the hop. I know they were trying to take that start-stop out of the game, that you can't stop, but far too often that hop looks like it's a stop, and you got the keeper is pretty much has nothing he can do.
Ooh, opportunity. That's offside. It was well worked, but the linesman on the near side here spotted the offside, and this will be a free kick for DeSmet coming out. We told you about Tim Kylo, but we also want to say thanks to Charlie McDaniel at Athletic Republic. If you've got a youngster gearing up for a sport coming up, or you have maybe yourself, maybe you want to get yourself in shape, definitely look up Athletic Republic online.
Tom, you and I will have to.
I had the phone number written down. We will. I had the phone number for Charlie written down.
I've got it right here I got it right here on my phone. Hold on while I'm shooting. Once the ball goes out of bounds.
That's what happens, folks, when you start your live read without having the phone number in front of you, or assuming you had the phone number in front of you. As DeSmet works it out to their right side. And it's a good move. Opportunity to center it now. Gavin Weber's just waiting for it. He might end up getting it. Jetton's clearance wasn't the best. Norkaitis gets back to help him out. And this is going to be a throw-in for DeSmet.
All right, that number 314-432-6103. It's a 314. So give Charlie a call for that free training session. Tom and I will even go with you. Give us a call.
It'd be
Tom,
fun.
We'll go. It would be. That'd be a way for us to engage with our viewers.
We'll make a day of it. We'll go work out there, stop by Chick-fil-A on the way home,
and then
cover all the bases.
Get some insurance with
Mr.
Kylo.
I think it's probably safest to get the insurance before doing any of the other things.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I'm sure Tim would advise you that. 13:40 remaining in this first half. Pair of Will Sharamatero goals had the Cadets feeling good. Penalty and really a no-doubter, just unlucky. Made it 1 goal back for the Spartans. 2-1 is your score. If this game were to finish at 2-1, which it doesn't really show a whole lot of evidence of doing, DeSmet would end up with a loss, no points, 1 goal, 1 point. They would end up with 7. CBC, 2 goals and a win, would pick up 5, so they would be tied for second with DeSmet. SLU has 8. This result would see DeSmet and CBC tied behind them with 6, with 1 game day remaining in this tournament. On Saturday, DeSmet will play St. Louis University High School, and then the CBC Cadets will play St. John Vianney. And the final day of the CBC tournament, the 49th playing of the CBC tournament. Cadets have won that 21 times. In second behind them, SLU with 11, Vianney with 9, DeSmet with 6.
49 years, Tom. That's a long time.
Yes, it is. First tournament played in 1977. Loose ball in the midfield. Lucas comes away with it.
Yeah, great job by Lucas to re-engage quickly and actually ended up winning that ball back.
Cale Keller into this game at right back. So that one goes all the way back to Stone. It gets under it. Stevie's got a backtrack for that. He's got some support from Lucas Sharamatero. Lucas saw his brother pick up 2 goals. You know he'd love to try to get back at him. You don't want to be the low scorer in the car home.
Good job by the Cadets so far here in the midfield, winning the ball, taking control of the ball. Pretty much going according to plan in terms of what we talked to Randy about earlier before the game, and just settling down and trying to control the ball a little and get your head up and not be afraid to take somebody on and then make that pass.
Cole Beck comes on for CBC. A few substitutes out there. You get Nathan Dang at striker. Cale Keller is on at right back. Frankie Eilerman back on at left back. Lucas Sharamatero hobbling just a little bit. Left wing, that looks like Nico Garoni over there on the left wing. As the Sharamatero brothers swap, Will comes back out. Looks like Lucas might have just picked up a little bit of a knock there. But walked off under his own power. I'm sure he'll be okay. Stevie trying to turn on a pass from Cale. It's intercepted by Connor Mess for DeSmet. Now Nathan Dang. You can see the idea. It was a good one. He was looking to feed Beck in, but just a little too heavy on the pass. Good pressure by Dang. Wins the ball back. Now Stevie. He's got space in the middle if he wants to go. Instead goes outside. That's well defended by Mess as well. Ooh, and even better kept in. Correction, this is Mess. That was 26 Caden Fleming, the left back. So this is Caden Mess playing at left wing. CBC did a great job of getting back in position behind the ball. Did you notice that, Randy?
Yeah, and that ball that's played straight across the middle like that, if you can jump that route and intercept that ball, that's where that counterattack really comes in.
Well, it's been a good job as well by that first defender there for CBC of just isolating their man and allowing people time to get back in position. Because if Mess had been able to turn in right away, and if you allowed him inside as opposed to forcing him out and isolating him, then all of a sudden you keep running back toward your goal. Because they met him, got him out to the sideline exactly like you're supposed to, it allows the rest of the team to get in position. Then you say, okay, come get us.
Yeah.
8:57 to go. This is a free kick to DeSmet. Dang, the striker, has Beck playing in behind him. Everybody else behind the ball.
And a good job cutting that. They're really doing a good job right now cutting that through ball down the middle, just totally out. And you can see DeSmet almost having to take the ball and start their attack over again.
Good attack into the middle. Well met by Norkitis. CBC holding their shape here. DeSmet trying to find a way in. A little bit of space in the middle, but once they get that ball, there's really not much ahead of them. And if you're DeSmet, maybe just a little slow to move off the ball and not seeing a whole lot of movement. And sometimes you get stuck in one of those ruts where you have the guy with the ball and he's looking up and everybody's waiting for somebody else to make the run. Good work by Connor Hickam to get back and get that. He was trying to feed Robert Hammond, just couldn't get it to him. Back forward. DeSmet starting to settle into the ball. Good defensive shape for CBC, but you'd like to break out of this. You don't want to get pinned back for 7.5 minutes. That's exactly how DeSmet was able to come back against Vianney on Tuesday night. Just pinned them in, kept coming, and eventually got their goals.
Up top, when that ball's played up top like that, we've got to try to find feet, turn and face the ball and try to find feet and receive and hold like there, hold the ball and let our defenders come up and play out of that.
Clock will be at about 6:40 when DeSmet throws this in. In a good shape. Dang looking very isolated at the 50 right now. Game plan for CBC, once you get that, probably find Nathan Dang, let him hold the ball for a minute while you sprint out. But DeSmet's tightening the grip here. There's a ball in and a good one. Good first touch as well. Now this is Mess. Left-footed cross, easy for Stone. I don't think that's exactly where he wanted to put that. And Stone's got a chance to slow it down for CBC with a little over 6 to go in the first half.
I think as you go into halftime here, you have to be really happy with the performance pretty much all the way around the field. Offensively, center, throughout the center midfield, the midfield, the backs, everybody playing strong. You have to come out the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half and keep this this high press up.
Good interception by Dang. And now CBC doing a nice job transitioning into attack. They got forward very quickly. You got to be a spring. You get pinned back as a team. That spring just winds up. As soon as you break, you really have to fling forward. A lot of space in the middle, though. That can happen. And you need your backs to be at their best here. Carol Keller makes the first intervention into the middle. Jetton drops back. And still DeSmet. Cross in. This will be a corner. Actually, I'm looking to see. That might have been Norkitis tracking back rather than Jetton.
Yeah, it's one of those. You're in a tough place there. You've got to step, but you also have to be careful that you don't get that foot in there too far where you draw that guy draws the foul on you. Where a good offensive player knows how to put his body in a spot where if you put that foot out, I'm going down.
Whistle blows. Corner comes in. Or will. There it is. Back post. Don't think Stone got a touch to that. No, he did not. Could see the idea thanks to that nice camera work. Of, Stone trying to just tap it behind for another corner. Couldn't quite get a finger on it. It works out well for him.
Yeah, the first 20, 25, 30 minutes of this, I would say 20 minutes of this game, CBC was able to work the ball up the field at kind of its own will. We got it up into the offensive zone. We were able to knock the ball around. We kept high pressure on. But then as the half kind of went on, things started to, I don't want to say slip away per se, but it started to loosen up a little bit. And it's almost like we've fallen into a little bit of a defensive shell. Not that we have, it just feels like we have, because we're not able to get the ball up and hold and get everybody up right now. But you know how soccer is, it comes in waves.
Yep, you're going to have to weather some of these in any game. And there's the free kick. Takes an awkward bounce. Stone had to be very alert to that.
It's one of those ones that take that bounce and bounce right over your head.
It can very easily. You know, Stone's strength, I think, as a keeper, his hands. Very, very good handling the ball. And is very aggressive getting to the ball as well, which he's usually able to pull off. Obviously, kind of was put in a bad spot earlier in this game, but generally very, very good getting to it. And no exception there. That was not as easy as it looked. That is out, so this will be a goal kick. No, it went out before. Let's see what they do.
I think the ball might have went out of bounds, maybe, around the cadet bench.
Don't see that very often. Went out of bounds on the CBC bench, rolled back in bounds to go out for what would have been a goal kick. Come to think of it, I don't know that I've ever seen that. Goes out on the sideline, rolls back in, goes all the way through and out the end line.
Tom, first time for everything, right?
Yeah. Because that went inside the corner flag when it crossed the end line. And I asked some of our physics classes to talk me through that tomorrow. 1:52 remaining. Most of the laws of physics still intact here in the first half of the second game day, the 49th playing of the CBC tournament. Will Matero can't get there in time. That'll go out. This will be a throw.
Big homecoming week next week for everybody here at CBC. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of events going on throughout the week, and then we play big football game next Friday night against Lipscomb.
Keller gets back, clock at 1:07. Can hear teammates talking to Brandon Dowdy saying, you got time, you got time. Give and go, he's got to hustle to get there, and he can't keep that in. That will be a goal kick. Substitution for CBC with 50 seconds to go. Keller gets a break, and looks like Kiefer Cole coming back on. Reineke ready to hit this. See if they can get one last chance here in the first half. 34 remaining. That's brought down. It was a little awkward for Eilerman over there. Ends up getting it back to Stone. 24 seconds. Now Matero looking for Camps. That's met by Tian, who wins the header again.
Yeah, those are balls that you have to win in the midfield.
9 seconds as Stone DeGrief gathers this one in, and he'll be in no rush to hit this. He will have to get rid of it before the end of the half. Throws it out of bounds, and that will do it. So it was in the third minute that Will Matero converted on assist from Parker Jetton. 6 minutes later in the ninth minute, Will again, this time from Ethan Norkitis. That made it 2-0. A penalty kick goal in the 23rd minute from Gavin Weber brought DeSmet back within one. But the first half ends with a score of 2-1. It has been entertaining so far, and I think plenty of action in store for us in the second half. Randy, would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if Randy Roy was up here talking to us, he'd say, I'm happy with that performance. The first half basically all over the field, especially with coming out early, a lot of pressure, first goal, and then the second goal. Unfortunate on the penalty kick, but they came out strong and rebounded and got back into the game after that. Now you sit for 10 minutes, you got to come out with that same energy that you had at the beginning of the game.
Well, we're going to sit for 10 minutes and try to come out with the same energy we started the game with as well. We will be back in just a little bit. We got second half action coming for you. You are watching CBC Soccer on the Cadet Student Network. Welcome back into the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. 2-1 is the score as these two teams head back out on the field. The Cadets are ready. They're already out there. DeSmet still finishing the halftime team huddle. There's a pair of Will Matero goals in the 3rd and 9th minute. Opened up a 2-0 lead for CBC. DeSmet clawed one of them back in the 23rd minute with a penalty kick converted by Gavin Weber. Foul was committed by Kiefer Cole, who just got a little bit of ankle instead of ball. And that is where we stand. Tom Eichwald, Randy Gardner getting set to bring you the second half. And I think safe to say that from our perspective, Randy, this is a battle of intensity for these first 5 minutes.
I was going to say, I think this first 5 minutes, whether a team scores or doesn't score, is going to determine the outcome of this game. The team who comes out with some vigor, with just some momentum, I think that will set the tone and the pace for the rest of this half.
And it looks like CBC starting the half the way they started the game in terms of lineup. They'd love to do that in terms of result of play as well.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes of the first half, I think CBC really dominated and controlled every aspect of the game, from 50-50 balls to control the ball to shot to goals to everything on the field. And then the next 10-15 minutes, DeSmet started to gain some momentum, and then the penalty kick kind of changed things.
Second half underway. First long ball played in. DeSmet clears with a head and then a right foot. And now they're playing it right back in. Clock is rolling, 39:42 remaining in what's been a fun game so far. Entering this game, St. Louis University High School led the tournament with 8 points apiece. Again, in this tournament, 3 points is a win. You get 1 for a draw. We'll finish this action here. Right-footed shot, that's blocked. And it falls for Will Matero. 3 points for a win. You get 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. You do get a point for every goal you score up to 3, and you also get a point for a shutout. So with that in mind, SLU leads the tournament with 8 points. DeSmet was in second with 6. Vianney with 3, CBC with 2. A 2-1 win for the Cadets would be worth 3 for the win, 2 for the goals. That's 5 more points. That would put them in second with 7. Tied with, let's see, Vianney, I believe. No,
Tom, I'll get
7.
you a calculator.
Yeah, 7. Carry the 1. Randy Molman line. Little trick of the trade. The hardest 10 minutes of broadcasting is the first 10 minutes of the second half or third quarter. When you come out at halftime, you get to take a little break. You got to gear the brain back up. And I just broke my first rule, Randy. Never do live math on the air. We'll actually do the math and then bring you that report. But safe to say, a win here, we get CBC right back into this tournament. And if you are DeSmet, you're still in it. You get 1 point for your goal, so you'd be on 7 points tied with CBC in second. That was better. Second try was better. It's 2 minutes gone here. That was Tom Eichwald fumbling the tournament math. Meanwhile, Randy Gardner does about 4 different jobs next to me.
And math is not my strong suit either, so don't ask me to do any of the addition or subtraction.
That's all right. I'll go back to the drawing board. Ball was still moving, so they're going to have to do this again. But I think we were talking, Randy, up here that was about the best 20-minute stretch of soccer we've seen CBC play in the first 20 minutes of the game. You know, they've fallen behind in each of their games and had to come back. Sometimes they haven't, sometimes they have. But to get off to just a dominant start and score first.
And this would be a big momentum win for the Cadets right now in this part of the season, especially, you know, they won in Collinsville 5-0, and then they come back home and you end up losing to Ladue pretty heftily on a very hot day here on a Saturday afternoon when it was 100 degrees, and then you turn around and come back out and you lose a tough one to SLU. So, and then you come out and you play it the way we did the first 20 minutes. Kind of a statement point of the season for us.
They're trying to cut in and get that shot away, but well met by CBC. That's Quinn Bowman dribbling in for DeSmet. That's out for a goal kick. Boy, we'd love to see, good first start to the first half, strong start to the second half, dominate both of those, come away with a comfortable win. I think for the team it would be a bit of a relief, just kind of, okay, so that's what it looks like. We can do it. And it just underlies the importance of getting off to that fast start, coming out with energy, not letting the game come to you, but going out and just dictating it from the start.
Yeah, it's almost a lesson for the rest of the season. When you see what you can do in the first 10 minutes of a game, when you come out and play like that, you can go up 2-0. Maybe that's something that sticks in these players' minds.
Good pick there by Norkitis. Now Sharamatero. Jones over on the right. Brings it inside, takes it out, brings it back in. Will, hat trick with another goal if he can. Instead he tries to play in counter Camps. That gets cleared initially, and it is out. Good idea from Alex Kosny, just couldn't keep it in. This will be a CBC throw.
Actually, it looks like it's going to be a DeSmet throw. He said it got deflected, but
it was over behind the brick wall here, so couldn't exactly see it. But it will be a DeSmet throw. Taken short, and they will switch to the far side. Something we've seen DeSmet be pretty consistent about. If something's not doing on one half of the field, they're going to play it over and switch the point of attack. Maybe if you're watching and you're a Spartan fan, you'd like to see that be just a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper. But it is definitely something they're doing, and it can be effective. Move it back and forth, kind of lull people into sleep. We were talking a little bit about that on Tuesday night as well. Just, you going back and forth as a defender, sometimes very easy to just think about where you're moving and forget about where your man is and lose him.
Yeah, no, defensively, that's where the guy up top, I think you go out, you turn your motor on, you run back and forth and try to create that mistake. And if you're winded, then you get a sub, you go off, you rest, you come back on and do your job. If that's all you do defensively is take and be able to shut that as a safety valve off top and keep that ball from being played up into the middle, you're doing your job just as effectively as putting the ball in the back of the net.
That is the beauty of this level. If you are tired, you can get a break, bring somebody right back on. Of course, it's not where you're subbed out and you can't come back in like it is at the top levels of the game. Does mean that depth is a huge advantage when you are able to bring in fresh legs who are also skilled players. So many times that's one of those differences between your top programs and maybe that next tier. It's just the depth. Not quite as clear-cut as hockey where you can talk about being 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines, 4 lines deep. But, when you can throw in 2 or 3 guys at any position and be comfortable with them in there, that is a huge asset, especially in these warmer nights. Just met with a little bit of space. Again, CBC recovers, gets in position really well. That's because Will Sharamatero met his man, slowed him down, and everybody else got in position behind him. That's exactly how it's supposed to work.
I think on a few of those balls, as far as that ball coming into the middle right there, you've got 2 or 3 cadets standing there. One of the guys got to, I think, take a step up and try to force a mistake, because if you get beat there, you've got 2 other guys, and you force that Spartan to actually do something with it besides just have a couple feet of space. Like right there, you try to stick him quickly as he's receiving the ball, and don't give him an opportunity to turn.
That was Zach Costello now turning. He's going to play it out to the left flank. Good header by Kiefer Cole to get there first. Now Jones, quick feet, finds Norkitis. I think one of the strengths of this midfield for CBC is their ability to play out under pressure. Jones taps it ahead. Camps couldn't get there.
Great idea, though.
But how many times do we see one of these CBC midfielders close down? I think Ethan Norton is great at it. Stevie's great at it. Will's done a nice job of it tonight. They receive that ball under pressure, maybe even double-teamed in the midfield there, and they're able to play away. It's not always pretty, but they retain possession. They find a teammate as opposed to just doing something desperate, losing the ball. And that will be 3 points, but in the wrong sport. 31-34 to go. Cadet fans, you've heard us tell you about them. if you've been thinking about insurance, whether it's life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, whatever it is, and maybe putting it off, don't put it off any longer. You can pause this broadcast now. Call Tim Kylo at 314-842-4442. You can send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. Once you send him an email and ask him to help you save money on your insurance, then you can come right back to the action here without missing a beat. And you can thank Tim for both, bringing you the action of CBC Soccer and also for helping you save money on your insurance. Again, that's Tim Kylo from State Farm, 314-842-4442.
And one thing we don't talk enough about is customer service from Tim. Great guy, easy to talk to, answer all your questions. So great friend of the broadcast. Has become a great friend through all these years.
And is probably listening. Loves keeping up with CBC Sports. So thank you, Mr. Kylo, directly. And we hope the CBC community will reach out and let you help them with their insurance. Just under 10 minutes gone here in this half. Tom Eichwald, Randy Gardner, bringing you the 49th playing of the CBC tournament. CBC in those black uniforms, purple socks, going right to left across your screen, and DESMET wearing the visiting white, going left to right.
I like the black uniforms with
I
the
do
purple
too.
socks. It look sharp.
I do too. It is a good look. No shortage of uniform options for the boys these days. How many different uniform combinations do you have in high school?
A away uniform and a home uniform. I think we had 3. 3 total. No, that was in 82 to 86. Actually, Tom, I have them all. We got to keep them our senior year after winning the state championship. We got to keep all our uniforms, and I still have them. I took them out and showed the kids, and I'm not really sure I understand how small I was back then.
So maybe it wouldn't fit anymore. Is that
It wouldn't even fit on half of my body.
This is Nicoletti on the left. Puts it on the left foot. Gets shown into the corner. That is out. That would be a CBC throw.
My senior year, I was the average size of about a 4th grader. Fortunately, I had a little speed and a little ball skill.
That helps. If you don't have size, usually you have some combination of the other two of those. DESMET clears. This will be chased down. That's Evan Miller in a foot race with a couple of Spartans. He did a nice job of getting himself around that. Very easy to just kind of quit on that and kick it right into the middle. But he did a good job of keeping that kind of outside the hash mark.
And that's one of those balls where you think about maybe playing it back to the keeper, because that's probably the easy, safe play, but it can also be the easy, non-safe play. A little bit of a stumble or anything like that can, and this game's tied.
Well, yeah, and especially the only way, he could have found Stone. You never pass it back on goal, so he would have had to play it to Stone's left-hand side, which means Stone has to change directions, and 2 Spartans who are already running that direction would have a leg up on him, put him in a really bad spot.
Yeah, DESMET doing a really good job of switching the pace and switching the ball across the field, keeping the cadets moving.
And I know I said this in the first half, but this is exactly how DESMET came back against Vianney on Tuesday. They settled into some good rhythm offensively, pinned Vianney back, and just kept coming, and then before you know it, they scored 3 goals in the span of about 25 minutes. So if you're CBC, you have to keep breaking out. You have to keep taking the game to the Spartans. You can't just ride out a 1-goal lead. And you got to avoid those giveaways. Foot race. Gardner wins it, and that'll be out for a CBC throw.
Pretty even second half so far. Close to 15 minutes into this one. Both teams kind of feeling each other out through the midfield.
It has been a pretty typical CBC DeSmet game in this second half here. Neither team clearly better. DeSmet's probably had a little bit more possession. Don't keep that stat, but if you told me it was 60-40 DeSmet, I wouldn't be shocked. But just cagey, not a whole lot between them, not a whole lot of open space to run into. You don't see CBC DeSmet games wide open running back and forth down the field too often. So this is about what it tends to be. It's a good turn. Again, a good shape from CBC. Coach Roy did say that's something they've been working on in practice, of getting set, keeping everything in front of you. And I think they have responded really well to the training on that. Not sure exactly what those drills were, what those exercises were, but it's got to be a good feeling when you identify something in a game, you train on it in the week, really on the one day you have to practice, and then you turn around 2 days later and it's worlds better.
Coach's dream.
It is.
Yeah, we talk about how the players are really responding to Coach Roy and the staff, and the way they command the players' respect. And it just, this first part of the year has, you know, they're 3-3. They're falling into a new look and a new feel, and you don't know where that's going to go, but so far it's been very, very positive. We've heard nothing but positive things from players from around the entire organization.
And we're still seeing some lineup tweaks, you know, still a few things moving around, a couple of different looks. You know, you don't really have a whole lot of seasons where you finish it exactly how you started out in terms of lineups. So they're learning, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, and this is right, what you're seeing right now is exactly what Randy talked about, that movement of the ball, quick movement of the ball around the backfield, and then play through the middle, and you take 4, 5, 6 Spartans out of the play by moving the ball quickly like this. But when you do that, this quick counterattack, you have to have your head on a swivel and be able to get back.
Well, and that's where you just need, you know, not only good players, but smart players who communicate in the middle of the field. So right now you got that, let's see, this is going to go out, should go out for a goal kick, yep. You got that kind of middle square of Jetton and Norkitis with Miller and Gardner behind him. 4 good players, 4 smart players. They recognize where each other is. They know how to interact. They know that when one guy steps, somebody else needs to drop. It's just those little things that they kind of have figured out that enable you to play that, because when you're playing laterally, those midfielders have to be going back and forth, and if you're not careful, you can open up some real seams, so it takes discipline to do that. And so that's something they have done very well, especially here tonight. I
was going to say, and that's another thing that comes with that continued playing together, and as the season moves on and you start to, you know, once you're in there 10, 12 times with somebody, you start to notice and recognize their tendencies. And
ball played in. There's an opportunity for DeSmet. That's cleared. This will be a corner kick. That is a new look for CBC as well. That kind of box in the middle. So used to seeing the 3-man back line, you know, with the wingers dropping in outside the backs, and maybe that defensive midfielder slotting in somewhere along the that back line. But I think they're figuring it out. You know, we've seen first couple games, you know, certainly Tuesday night, some defensive uncertainty and maybe some miscommunications, but it looks like they're settling into a pretty good understanding. Stone will take this. There's going to be about 22:20 on the clock when he hits this, would be my guess. So we're just a little shy of halfway through the second half.
You know, you look at how much goes into a high school season for players and for coaches. You basically, for players, you know, you're playing at different clubs all around St. Louis, and then you with different styles, different coaching styles, playing styles. You're maybe playing a different position, and then you come together in August and you play August, September, October, into November with new players, usually top-level players from all the teams, put them together with the coach who's trying to pull all these styles together and coach his style of play. It's a tough thing to do, and on top of that,
yeah, it should be Stones, yep.
On top of that, you are playing basically 3 to 4 games a week for weeks on end. That's a lot of toll on a body.
I think one of the things I'll add to that, Randy, is that, these aren't just guys who play on a club in high school. Generally, these are guys who have been playing in a club system since they were, 7, 8 years old. They have been taught a way to play their entire lives. And then they come together not just with a couple of years of learning a way to play, but with years and years and years. So it requires that much more adaptability. But the trade-off, you get to play for your school. I mean, you get to play for CBC against DESMET. You get to play for DESMET against CBC. These are the games, I know Coach Roy said these are the games you should enjoy, but the flip side of that is that these are the games where, it shouldn't matter what position you are. If you're given the chance to be on the field for this, you should. There's an opportunity. Oh, that was a nice tackle by Jetton.
Yeah, a bad giveaway there.
Yeah, it was Mark who got in there.
Midfield.
And keeper way out. Reineke has to use his head. He was just outside the box. CBC got away with one there. The attack from Costello now.
Just got an alert on my phone. There's lightning in the area, which is not a good sign. Hopefully it'll stay away for 20 minutes here.
That's all we need. We need 20 minutes. Actually, 19 minutes and 58 seconds. Gardner clears. Nicoletti brings it down off the chest. Still Nicoletti. Stays with it. Great hustle to stay with that, not quit on it. It's frankly a good challenge. From the CBC fans wanting a foul there, but that's exactly how you need to defend that. Jetton clears.
So right now, it almost feels like the Cadets are playing a little frantic.
They are.
Just let's get the ball out of our end.
Yeah, the patterns have broken down, and they're just kind of looking for the farthest they can put the ball. You're going to do that for a few minutes of just about any game, but you really need to establish some rhythm here. Trust what you're doing. That's the key. Costello, left-footed shot, blocked by Norkaitis. Fleming thought about crossing one back in, but he's going to play it back. And now this very direct. Stone to Grief really quick to read that. Gets there ahead of Rob Hammond. And he's got it with 18:31 to go.
Yeah, the Cadets have to really start to step up and win those balls. That first ball we're not winning anymore. Whether it's off a goal kick, whether it's off Stone's kick, that ball played up and through the middle. That's the ball that we have to start winning.
Well, and to repeat a theme from Tuesday night, these are the things that players have to work through. Your coach can't fix this mid-game for you. You don't get the chance. In soccer, you don't get the chance to draw up a new play. You don't get the chance to take a timeout and script it. You can't change the pitcher. There's nothing you can really do other than just trust the preparation you've done and go out and encourage your players to find a way to make it happen. That's why we love this game so much. That's why it can be so frustrating sometimes. Here's the cross. Eilerman heads it at the back post. Nicoletti beaten to it. Now it's Mark into the middle. Miller steps. It was a good step by Evan. He's got to get back in, though. Eilerman with a header. And if you're DESMET, you'd love to just settle into that. Yeah, nice job by Eilerman. Della Croce into the midfield now. Good step by him. And that is going to, it was the first foul. Della Croce got fouled. Good refereeing to see if there was an advantage to letting him play on. There was not. And we get a stoppage of the clock, as it looks like Evan Miller's a little slow getting up. Well, we have a second. We've told you about Tim Kylo, but if what you're saying, maybe you're all set on your insurance and you're looking to get in shape. Maybe that's what your need is.
You know, you're heading into winter here. It's the time where you traditionally maybe take it a little easy. Maybe this year you kick it into gear.
You know, maybe you just want to fit back in your favorite festive holiday turtleneck sweater, and that's the motivation, whatever it is. Charlie McDaniel would love to help you with that. Give Charlie a call. Fit into that high school soccer uniform. Charlie McDaniel would love to help you out. Give him a call, 314-432-6103. That is Charlie McDaniel at Athletic Republic, 314-432-6103. They will do a consultation, figure out a plan for you, and get you on track for whatever your fitness goal is. So, Athletic Republic, thank you very much, Charlie, for all your support.
And then you can stop by Chick-fil-A Manchester location and pick yourself up a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
No, if you had that with chocolate milk, it's technically part of a recovery. I think that's how that works.
Protein shake?
Yes, exactly. It was a nice idea you could see there, but it's well dealt with by CBC.
That could be the cadet special.
Could be.
Sandwich and protein shake. Nice give and go there.
Yes, it is. Tony West trying to get it on his right foot. Good turn in. Just couldn't beat the left back there. It's a good recovery from Waymuller. Ball still bouncing around. Opportunity here for CBC to maybe make DeSmet a little bit uncomfortable. There's a foul. This one's going to go against CBC. I think it was Will Shermatero called with the foul. So DeSmet will take a free kick and look to build. That was better from the cadets.
I was going to say, that's one of those fouls you might not agree with, but you just put your head down, turn around, and defensively get back into position. The referee's never going to change his mind. So just turn around and just go. Just get yourself in a defensive position that you cannot get beat quickly.
It speaks to something else that Coach Roy talked to us about before the game, Randy, of just the grit of this team. You know, they're not interested in making a scene of that and trying to get the right call and voicing their displeasure. They're getting right back in position because they know that there's a lot of soccer left to play. That's a tackle from Eilerman, and it is a foul. He doesn't like it, and I don't think the referee liked that protest. I don't know if this is for the original foul or the reaction, but I think, frankly, Eilerman is going to end up in the book, and he is.
As soon as you talked about it,
yep,
the broadcaster's
on
curse.
cue.
Tom, you couldn't have timed that any better. So by grit, I think he's talking about SLU scoring on us and us coming back and scoring. Staying in the game, keeping our head in the game, grit.
There you
Not
go.
arguing with the referee. But you know, it's one of those things at this level, and it's a little different in club ball where you can get up and maybe say something to the referee. In high school, they don't do that.
And I think Coach Roy getting an explanation. I always like to see this when a referee's not afraid to go over and offer an explanation. I think coaches are owed that. You know, how can you help your players avoid these situations if you don't know exactly what was said or what the card was actually given for? You need to understand that.
Yeah, and myself as a coach, I do appreciate that. Them taking a second to just come over and say, hey, look, he said this under his breath or he said this to me. Totally understand. But when you're 40 yards away and you don't understand exactly what happened because you're questioning the call in the first place and then a yellow comes out, especially in a crucial game, big game like this.
Zach Costello, great free kick. Ooh. Just sailed a little bit on Stone to Grief, but that's where those hands come in handy because I think he might have kind of come out a little bit too far on that one as it sailed. He's able to get those hands back, and it's a good, comfortable grab in the end. I think he was thinking that was going to drop just a little bit faster than it did.
Down to under 15 now, I think you're going to see a little bit more of a frantic pace by both teams, especially DeSmet. This is where, as cadet, you have to just keep your head in the game. No dumb fouls in terms of around the box. Just hold them up. I don't think you get in a dump and run game right now. There's too much time.
If you do get into a dump and run game for CBC, you're in trouble because that's where you get pinned in. If you're DeSmet, you can keep dumping that ball in all you want as long as you're chasing. Try to really wear down that back line. That's actually not a bad approach here. You probably won't see it just yet, but when the clock gets down to 7 or 6 or so, that's when you might start to see those balls coming in a little bit faster, and there's going to be a foul called against Tony West. Got his foot up a little high. No protest there. That's a good poke by De La Croce as well, just to break up that passing lane. 13.5 remaining. It's been a very well-contested game. In case you're wondering, yes, Eilerman was booked in the 65th minute. He joins Evan Waymuller for DeSmet in the book. He was booked in the 11th minute, so 1 yellow card apiece for each team. DeSmet trying to find some way through. Could get a little bit lucky with that slide tackle that it comes right back to a Spartan.
Kind of like what happened over at DeSmet with that ball that they ended up scoring the winner in overtime with it. It was the ball's getting cleared out of the backfield and hit somebody in the midsection and bounced right to one of their guys who pretty much touched, turned, and hit, and it was over that quickly.
It'll be under 12.5 to go when DeSmet takes this. A lot of bodies inside the 6-yard box. There is no let's all line up at the top of the 18 and run. They're just going to crowd it. This time it comes up. Good shout from Stone to Grief, letting everybody know it was over. And there's those hands again.
Yeah, Stone has his leaping ability and judgment ability of the ball is phenomenal.
It is. He's a volleyball player. He knows how to get up there and get a great read on the ball. I mean, there's an art to that.
Yeah, timing is everything on that jump. I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and say it, but when you're down on the field and you got guys around you and the ball's coming in, you got to judge it. You've got the lights. There's so many things going on, and you're doing it consistently time after time. It's extraordinary.
Clock at 11.5.
And goalkeeping for the Cadets has been very strong all year long.
You really have two options, kind of a continuation of last year, where you had 2 number 1s all season. We're really seeing the same thing. I guess that was it 2 years ago now? Yeah, George Gaylord and, boy, I can picture him. That was 2 years ago. That's going to bother me. You know when that's going to hit me, Randy? About 5 minutes into the drive home tonight. That's when that tends to happen. 10:47 remaining. That's a nice ball and a good run. Not a ton of support coming, and a good job by Kiefer Cole to usher him out to the corner. And that's going to be a DeSmet throw. Good clearance again. 10:20 to go. DeSmet readying a substitute.
And we talked at the beginning of the game about keeping the ball in front of you, facing the other end of the field with your back to your goal and keeping that ball in front of you. This is when that is crucial. Randy talked about it, but the last 10 minutes of a game when you're up and they're going to be playing that ball in and they're going to be trying to play it over the top, you do not want to get your body in a position where you're trying to shoot camera and show you. But you know what I mean? You do not want to be in that position where you get your hips caught in a way that you cannot turn and go.
That's why we should have a camera inside the Tim Kyler broadcast booth right there.
We do, but I can't punch it up right now. If I had more arms.
Randy, doing production, shooting camera, providing analysis, and demonstrating how to receive that ball. all surrounded by cables and tripod legs.
Recipe for a trip to the ER.
What could go wrong? Here's a cross in by Taimba. And that's another one for Stone. 8:56 remaining. CBC trying to hold on. They're 2-1 up. You have to create some offense here. You really have to play as much of the remaining 8:40 you can in DESMET's half, because the ball has not been down there in a little while.
Yeah, and we've got to start winning, and I talked about it just a second ago. Those balls that you just saw up there around the 50, those balls that are played between the 40 and 40, those are balls that we have to start winning right now.
Well worked by the Spartans. That's really nicely done. And there's West.
It's a good ball.
Yes, it is. This is Norkaitis. Good move. Slaloms past one. Cuts back inside. He's got help from Will Shermatero. 2 goals tonight already for Will. Instead, he tees up Parker Jetton. That is a really nice slide tackle. Really well done. And now here comes DESMET. Connor Mess off the right wing. And that is a foul by Parker Jetton. Yep. Yeah, Jetton came in from behind and just got Gavin Weber.
And you know what? And as a coach, I'm totally fine with that foul. You slow the play down. It is nothing blatant.
Well, especially late in the game. You're coming back. If a smart striker is going to put his body between you and the ball, the ability to stop, get out of the way. You'd rather have a guy come back and knowing that's a possibility than trying to back off that challenge. There's Weber's ball in, very flat. Meets ahead at the top of the 18. CBC trying to break out. Gardner clears. West is going to try to bring this down. Don't know if that's exactly what he intended, but it works out well. He had backup from Shermatero, now Nicoletti. Here's Will. Looking for Adam on the return pass. Don't know that he's going to get there as it goes down into the corner, and this will be out for a CBC throw.
I was going to say, I would have been fine with him turning and maybe lighting one up from there. We saw it earlier in the game on a shot from about that far away where you surprised him, and a quick spin back and turn and hit.
Substitution camps back on for Tony West up top. 6:27 on the official game clock.
Now, this is where you go in for 6 minutes and just run. Just cause a disruption. Try to get to every single ball.
Gardner stepping way up. It's your left center back doing a nice job of covering. He's actually moved over to left center back. I was a little surprised to see him there, and that's because Lucas Theme is in at center back as well. So Lucas playing right center back, Chase playing left center back, with Cale Keller over here playing left back. Kiefer Cole retains his spot at right back. Clock below 6. Stone should be first there. He controls it. He's in no rush. He's going to let the player come at him. Then he picks it up. Taking every second he can off the clock. Don't have to love it, but pretty much every keeper on the planet is going to do that in this situation. Wait until somebody challenges you before you pick up that ball. And that is Reinecke. He is not going to take every second off the clock because he's trailing by 1. So he's going to try to get everybody positioned and get this ball out as soon as he is ready. He's going to put it down, take a few more yards, let everybody get out, and give it a boot. And Cole will let this ride. Stone brought it back inside the box. I was nervous for him for a second. Can't really see where that line is over there.
It is hard to see.
That was awfully close, it looked like. But all you can see is that yellow lacrosse line, which is a good yard inside the box. DESMET trying to clear. Unlucky they can't. Shermatero now battling Mess. Keller backs him up. Nicoletti beaten there. Now this is Connor Mess. Recognized the back was out of position. They smartly put it right back where he was. That draws Gardner out, which opens up space in the middle, so the midfielders had to be alert. Nicoletti, good job. Now Camps, he's got space. Turn and run. You got 3:56 left. Run with this as long as you can. Fresh legs coming up. That's Will Sharamatero. Now Will receives it inside of 4 now. Draws a little bit of contact. Still Will Sharamatero. Runs out of gas about halfway across the field. Keller. Now Narkitis. No, that's Will Sharamatero again. Booted long. That's off Tyimba's head. And that will be out for a CBC throw that I guarantee you nobody wearing black will be in any hurry to take. We're at the part of the game where you adjust your socks, do everything you can without getting that booking, just to try to see this one out. 3 minutes, 3 seconds. DeSmet wins it back very quickly. This is Mess, gets around Keller, can't keep it in. He disagrees, looked awfully close. The linesman has a much better view of it than we did. But of course the whole ball has to be out, so linesman saw enough of it to say that there was no ball overhanging the line. And CBC gets the throw. Camps blocks it. Is he going to get there? Reineke doesn't come, so it's mano a mano there. And now Camps closing down Reineke. Good composed pass. He doesn't win the ball, but he takes valuable time off the clock chasing that back. It's over Keller. Gardner has to be there. Chase had a good game tonight. One giveaway early, but has rebounded well and has really settled in. He's been key in this second half. As Keller gets more forward, there's been some space he's had to be very alert to deal with. 2 minutes now. The Spartan is on the floor. Quinn Bowman is a bit shaken up. That's behind the play. The referee has not stopped play. Finally, it will go out for a DeSmet throw, and the clock will stop with 1:51 to go. Referee will come over and check on Bowman. And you'd have to say it's not exactly comfortable for CBC in the next minute 51. They had a better stretch the last 3 or 4 minutes than they had before that, because they were really kind of sitting back and just being attacked by DeSmet. But they broke out well. They were able to create some opportunities, some forward momentum, and at least take some time off the clock as Coach Klein comes on to check on Quinn Bowman.
Yeah, and that dumping, if you're going to dump that ball down in the corner, you have to have somebody go down there and chase and put some pressure on them, so they can't just build out 10 or 20 yards and then be able to play the ball. You got to make them think that you're coming and that you're on them, and that creates that giveaway in the next layer of ball. Maybe you don't get there, but you just create that little bit of pressure that can create that turnover. So this is, Tom, this is the most nerve-wracking time for a coach. For a player, you're so involved in the game. The players say this is not nerve-wracking to them. It's just part of what they do. But coaches and fans and broadcasters.
It is. This is where I have to set the pen down. Otherwise, you hear this nervous clicking. That's what happens in these situations.
So the pace of the game slowed down here with the injury. So everybody gets a chance to kind of catch their breath and regain their composure.
Coach Roy called everyone over right away for a drink of water. One last drink of water before the end of this one. Clock is running. That's out for DeSmet throw. 1:42 to go. This game will not go to overtime. If DeSmet's able to score and tie it up, it would end a tie, barring, of course, anything drastic in the final seconds. They're going to throw most everybody forward. They got 2 guys and a keeper behind the ball. But Reineke, the keeper, is at the 40-yard line on his side. Very aggressive posture, as you'd expect. Sharamatero, Camps. Does anybody have the leg to just go ahead and hit it? This is Camps. He's got space. He had a look at it, but instead I think he's going to take it to the corner. 1:07 to go. Make DeSmet rob him. There it is. wins a throw, and that's about as good as a goal in this situation. Under a minute. Official game time is at 52 seconds, so you're going to see the clock on your screen run out. We'll bring you the time. Throw-in happens with 45 remaining. That's headed out. 39 seconds now. CBC in no rush. They'll take it short. Take it to the corner. Camp out. Make DeSmet take it off of him. And that is going to be a goal kick. DeSmet will take this very quickly. It's going to be hit with just over 20 remaining. This is Tyemba on the near side. There's going to be one last chance here for DeSmet, potentially. Get a ball in and attack it. 15 seconds. Tyemba doesn't dump it in. And CBC clears. There's a throw-in with 7 seconds to go. I think they needed to get that ball in. They're not able to. Last chance, and it might be too late. Stone comes, and he's going to ice it. Stone DeGrief gets up on top, pulls it in, and that is going to seal the deal. Cadets win 2-1. No second half goals, so the game finishes as the first half finished. Goals from Will Sharamatero, and Will Sharamatero gave the CBC a 2-0 lead. DeSmet pulls back one on a penalty kick by Gavin Weber. But it is going to end 2-1. No shortage of entertainment there in the second half, though.
Yeah, you can just see from the emotion of the players that this is a game that means a lot to them. And kind of hopefully will set that tone to let them see what they can do throughout a game. Yeah, it did get a little frantic here and there throughout the game. But as we moved into the end, that first 20 minutes, and I would say sporadically, mostly second half, I thought they played very well.
I thought so, too. And they were able to weather out the storm. It wasn't a very pretty last 15 minutes or so. But when they came under pressure, they were able to break out. They were able to relieve that pressure and able to hold on for a 2-1 win. That's going to do it for us tonight. Remember, there is a big football game coming tomorrow night. That one is at 6 o'clock. The DeSmet Spartans will be bringing their football team to Spinelli Field tomorrow night to try to do what their soccer team could not, and that is knock off the Cadets on home turf. So that is at 6 o'clock. You can watch it on CSN. You can also watch it on Matrix Sports Midwest. So you will want to check that out tomorrow night, 6 o'clock.
And then soccer Saturday night, 7 o'clock right here. That could be a determining game for this tournament. The preceding game before us will make a lot of the decisions for that time. Do you have the rundown real quick on points, or
I do.
Is that too quick on the mathematics for you?
Well, no, you just put me on the spot. So that is going to be 7 points apiece for CBC and DeSmet. They are in second place behind St. Louis University High School with 8. Vianney sitting in fourth with 3. So SLU comes in with a slight advantage, but anything can happen on the last day of the CBC tournament. Thanks again for joining us. We've had a lot of fun. We hope you have as well. And we will see you right here tomorrow night. CBC DeSmet football coming your way. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.